The Sports Walk is back. Watch Season 3 of Backpack Broadcasting's original web series that brings you the opinions of real sports fans. The first 2 seasons and current season are available now for viewing on the Sports Walk YouTube channel and Facebook page. Check out the 2017 NYC WebFest official selection and see what other sports fans have to say on the hottest issues in sports today. It's easy. Just take the Sports Walk.
Peace, peace. You know what it is? It's your man Skyzoo, Skyzoo, live out the borough. And you are now watching the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast. Let's get into it, baby.
Ain't Hard to Tell podcast, episode 95 from the Gotham Podcast Studio. Dexter Henry, Brian Fonseca, and we have a guest returning. He was our first musical guest on this podcast.
That's true.
I don't think I knew that.
Brooklyn, yeah, you were.
Nice.
That's correct?
No, that's true.
That, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Nabate was after.
Yeah, okay. I made
Nice.
sure I was right
Yeah,
on
heard
that.
up.
Skyzoo,
Yeah.
my Brooklyn brother.
Yeah,
Rapper
absolutely.
from
What's
Brooklyn,
going
Bed-Stuy
on,
all
man?
day. What's going on, man?
What's going on? Hey, you said this is episode 95.
We
That's
saved
awesome.
you. We saved you for this. We was like,
Oh,
we
it's on
wanted-
purpose. Okay.
No,
Because that's dope.
So tell us why it's awesome, because we know why it's awesome too.
Because 95 is the greatest year, and I talk about 95 on Retropolitan and in a lot of my music, and 95 was just the dopest year. So, yeah.
See, and so when he told me, he's like, "Yo, we have to have Scott."
We had to because we
That's
just did.
awesome.
We did
Yeah.
94 last week.
Yeah.
We came in early today because we were going to record something else. We're like, we're not going to count that as episodes. It's going to
Yeah,
be
it's
like a
like,
little
nah.
bonus.
Okay.
So we can let this be 95.
Yeah, it's
I
perfect.
said this has to be 95 for Sky Retropolitan. He just said that his new album with Pete Rock
Yeah.
out right now.
Right now.
You can get that. Listen to it. It is dope.
Thank you.
Yes.
We've listened to it.
Yes.
I've run through it at least 4 times.
I've listened to it
already.
4 times.
Nice.
Front to back, too.
Thank you.
And that's
Yeah.
a lot to do on a weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
in 2019, where everything is just so boom, 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 like there's so much music and everything going on.
Yeah.
But shout to y'all and shout to the people, man. The response has been amazing. People are losing it for it. It's tearing up the internet. It's tearing up the charts.
Yeah, man.
Pardon me. So yeah,
No,
so
it's good.
it's doing great, man. So I appreciate the love. Myself and Pete Rock, you know, we appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. No, Pete Rock, one of my favorite producers.
Absolutely.
I think it was the video you put out before this album. You said something that I found out because we always have some couple stuff in common.
Yeah.
And like I know you love The Wire, like I do. You said "The World Is Yours" you think is the best beat,
Greatest beat ever.
greatest beat ever
In hip-hop
And
history.
I haven't heard anybody else say that, but I've always felt that.
But that's
'cause
your favorite- that's your favorite
That's my
beat.
favorite like
Yeah,
hip hop
yeah.
song too,
Yeah.
right? Like that's kind of the song that got me into it, right?
Okay.
So when we take that and we look at this album that you did with Pete Rock,
Yeah.
Retropolitan.
Yeah.
Why the name Retropolitan, and why'd you want to do that?
Oh man, so Retropolitan as a title, you know, it's metro, it's metropolitan as far as the city,
Right.
And then retro as far as, you know, just taking it back but still being current and just that feeling and that vibe. So some homies of mine got a clothing line by the name of De Las Flores, based out of New York, out of Lower East Side. Okay. And they gave me a hoodie about a year ago for a modeling campaign they did. So I took some flicks for them and all that. And the hoodie said Retropolitan. So they gave me the hoodie or whatever, took the flicks, all good. So then moving forward, fast forward to the album, Pete and I agreed to do the album and everything is rocking. And I think I'm like day 2 in the studio with him. And I'm like, yo, what am I gonna name this album? You know what I mean? Like I knew what we was doing and what the vibe and the story was gonna be and what it was gonna be about. But I was trying to come up with titles and what was inspiring me with the music already being created. And I had the hoodie on, and I looked down, and it said Retropolitan, and I was like, yo, there it is. So then I hit my peoples at the clothing line and was like, yo, that hoodie y'all gave me kind of inspired me as far as the title.
Right.
Yo, I want to name this album with me and Pete, Retropolitan, you know, was that live? And it was like, oh, that's great, rock out. Like, that's dope. You know what I mean? So, absolutely. So that's how the title came about. And it just goes to the city, man. It just goes to what I'm speaking about on the album. If you're dealing with Pete, you're dealing with a vibe and a feeling from back then, but current and forward and now. Like, Pete's not dated, you know, but he's just the captain of a certain era.
Yeah.
So that's where the retro part comes in, because there's no way you don't think about the greatness that hip hop was when you think of Pete. You absolutely think of that. You know what I mean? So you take that, and then I'm speaking about the city. You know, I'm speaking about what made me who I am and made guys like y'all who y'all are and listeners and all that. Like, I'm speaking about the city. So it just made sense, Retropolitan.
And that's my favorite thing about the album is just the sound. It sounds very, very
just
like
New
sort
York.
of, New York, the essence of New York and things like
Absolutely.
that. What I wanted to ask you though, getting together with Pete Rock, how did that even start?
Oh, man, so I've known Pete for a while, just being in the game for a little while. I guess I got in like 05, 06, as far as my early days and very first EPs and mixtapes and, trying to get a name and all that.
Yeah.
So I've known Pete maybe since like 08. When you in the game and you start bubbling a little bit, you at events, you running around, you moving, and you cross paths with a lot of people.
Right.
People that you grew up listening to, people that you're a fan of. Now you in the game, right? It's like you got drafted, you in the league. Now you on the court with LeBron and them. Now you on the court with Melo Anthony. You know what I mean? Like you in the game.
That's
so
true, yeah.
it kind of was that type of thing. So just always crossing paths with Pete and him showing love and y'all see what you're doing, yo, you killing it, yo, keep it going, like whatever you need, I'm here. That type of thing. And obviously me growing up as a fan, just crossing those paths and that energy made sense. But we hadn't really done anything yet. He had sent me beats. We had gone back and forth on certain things and, even recorded, some freestyle stuff and kind of just figuring things out. But now was the time. And as opposed to one joint, it turned into 12. It turned a whole album. So it was the label, Mellow Music Group, which put the album out. It was Mike at the label. It was his idea. He was like, yo, what if for the next joint, we got, you and Pete. And I was like, yeah, like Pete's my man. So I just never thought about a whole joint with Pete. It just, for whatever reason, it ain't crossed my mind, but that's my man. So I'm like, yeah, like, let's build on it. And then we, hit Pete, and Pete was like, yeah, we overdue. Like, let's do it. And it made sense.
And Pete Rock ain't making albums with just anybody.
Nah, you probably could count on like one hand how many people he's made a whole album with,
Right.
including his original group, including CL. You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
right.
It
Ain't that many.
Yeah,
ain't that many
it don't
people.
fly
puts
like
you at
that.
a different. That puts you at a different stratosphere.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I enjoy listening to these albums where you'll see a rapper go with one producer,
Right.
and kind of just say, I love the joint you did with Apollo Brown. I
Thank
love
you.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
I even liked what Joel Ortiz did with Apollo Brown. To
Yeah,
drop that.
we
So
talked-
I love-
We
I
talked
love
about
that joint, too.
Bandana on this podcast
Yeah,
a lot.
Right.
I like a lot of projects like that when you can get that.
Yeah.
You said, I think it was on Instagram when you first announced the title of this album and everything, you said the album was a love letter to the city
And a wake-up call.
a wake-up call at the same time.
Yeah.
When you say wake-up call, because I sometimes feel like as New Yorkers, we've kind of lost our sound.
Right.
I don't know if you feel the same way. I don't want to put words in your mouth. But
Yeah, in a way. I mean, I don't want to cut the question.
No,
off.
go ahead. Yeah, no,
in a
jump
way, but more so, waking up the city wasn't just about the sound per se. I mean, that debate's been happening for a while, like what New York sounds like or what it should sound like, and all that. And that's all opinion and whatever. And I feel a certain way about it. But when I said waking up the city, I'm talking about literally the city, like gentrification. I'm talking about the influx of certain people in certain places and the way certain things are going. I'm talking about the city just not being a city no more. I'm talking about chopped cheese going from $4 to $8.50. I'm talking about like the city, you know what I mean? I'm talking about that raised us, being from Brooklyn and going to school in Manhattan and, living in Queens in high school. And I know the city, man. Like, you ain't more New York than me. If you're not from here, I don't care who you are. You could move here from wherever, and now you live on my block, and now you live in the Sty or whatever, and you've been here however long. Listen, B, like, enjoy it. Enjoy the hood.
Right.
But, enjoy New York. You ain't more New York, and you're not going to tell a New Yorker what's real New York and what's not. Whether it's the sound, the look, the feel, the texture, the fabric, the lingo. You just not. And you're not going to kill my city or take my city from me. You know what I mean?
I like that was one of some of the messages you touched upon in this album, including gentrification. Like I love the track "Homegrown." I really like that track and how you touch on certain things about that.
Absolutely.
I think as a fellow New Yorker who's watched, like we probably both watch our neighborhoods that we grew up in.
Absolutely.
Sort of could become gentrified.
And you in Flatbush, right?
Yeah, I grew up in East Flatbush.
I never would have thought.
Yeah.
East Flatbush.
Yeah.
Would get hit.
Yeah.
Are you guys getting hit?
Yeah, you should see it now, man. Like I'm
East
from,
Flatbush,
I'm-
like the
and
90s?
See, that's where I'm from. 90s. I grew up 93rd and Church.
Oh, man.
You'll see people walking around. I was like, that person wouldn't.
That is crazy.
But it was crazy when I saw it in the Sty too.
Yeah,
I forgot where I was in the Sty a couple weeks ago, just eating, and I was just like, man.
Joe, the night. Wow.
But yeah, you're thinking because you know the '90s. When
Yeah,
we grew up, right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sky knows. It's that
Wow.
place where you'd say, I don't think it would come there, but you're seeing it push further east.
Because it's I've read stories and reports and articles on it, and Brooklyn is the most sought after place to live. in the world.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to live in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
It's just the hotbed right now. Yo, I'm in Brooklyn. Yo, Barclays, the Nets, bars and restaurants, and it's popping, and Williamsburg and PBRs and da-da-da-da-da. And, like, everyone wants to live in Brooklyn.
Yeah. It started even before that because I remember growing up because I'm from that Ridgewood, Bushwick area.
Okay.
But
they killing that, too.
That been done.
Bushwick is done, yeah.
10 years ago or
Bushwick is done.
I noticed that a lot of people were moving to Williamsburg because I feel like in
started in
Brooklyn,
Williamsburg.
that's where
It
it
started
all
in
started.
Williamsburg.
Right?
Yeah.
But they couldn't afford to live in Manhattan. That's why they were going to Williamsburg.
Right.
And then it became this city and this city.
Because what happened was it started, like you said, they couldn't afford Manhattan no more. So it started in Williamsburg because Williamsburg was the closest to Manhattan.
And the
you could be
safest, quote unquote.
Right. You could be you could be in Williamsburg and be in Manhattan in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Because you're on the L.
Yeah.
You take the L one stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're on
Bedford
First Ave.
to First Ave.
You're on First Ave. From Bedford to First Ave, it's a 2-3 minute ride.
Yeah.
So you're in Manhattan in 3 minutes. It's less than a song. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's less than the length of a song. So it started in Williamsburg, and then Williamsburg got overcrowded and too expensive. So now you go backwards. All right, well, what's next to Williamsburg? Okay, Bushwick. Okay, after Bushwick. Okay, the Sty. Okay, Clinton Hill. Okay, Fort Greene. Okay, and then it keeps spreading
Brooklyn
out.
Heights,
It started
Dumbo.
right.
Yeah.
It started in Williamsburg, and then it branched out because it just got so flooded and crowded or whatever.
Does as a fellow Brooklynite New Yorker, and I feel like you talk about this a lot in the project. Does that concern you, bro? Like in terms of
absolutely.
Because you talked about keeping the culture, right? Like not just musically, but the essence of our
New York.
New Yorkness, right? Does that concern you going forward? Is that
absolutely.
It was necessary to put out a project like that because of it.
and on my next joint after this that I'm kind of brainstorming as well, I'm going even further into that story. You know what I mean? Like I'm really digging. Like on this one, I touched it on certain spots. I touched gentrification. I touched certain things. But I'm also speaking on just how New York raised me before gentrification, just different things. But on the next one, I'm going even deeper into it. So obviously that's another conversation for a year from now. But
we'll talk
I'm
about
going
that.
even deeper into it on that. Conceptually, I'm just going even further. But yeah, I mean, it just was important, man. Just where I'm from, the crib, you know what I mean? Just where I'm from, man. It just was important. And again, you working with somebody like Pete, you know, it's New York. It's going to sound a certain way. Even if I didn't want to speak on this, it still would be a New York album because it's Pete. You know what I mean? So even if I was like, I'm not going to speak on gentrification or whatever the changes in New York, just rhyming, it's still going to be a New York album because it's Pete and because it's me. I
loved the first time we hear your voice on the album. I think the first thing you say is, "This is what New York sounds like." So
I said, I swear to God, it sounds like everything is supposed to.
You said,
because what I was telling the listener is, when you got word, Skyzoo, Pete Rock, when you saw our names next to each other on an Instagram post or an email blast or whatever, and you saw our names together and that we was doing an album together, you're like, oh, I know what I want that to sound like.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you as the listener, I got you covered.
Yeah.
I'm saying, opening record, the first line, I swear to God, it sound like everything is supposed to. Meaning like for the next 45 minutes, everything you wanted this thing to sound like is exactly what it sounds like.
And it did.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It did.
Thank you.
For me as a New Yorker that loves, I'm a boom bap head.
Yeah.
And just when, like I said, when you saw our names together, like you hear about certain people working together and you like, oh, that's going to be nuts. And then they may not go that way. They may have went some whole other direction that you didn't want them to go in. They may have went some whole other direction that you didn't expect.
This was not that.
At all. It was like, this is what you wanted is here.
Yeah. And on top of that, too, also the people you got to work with you on the album, like Styles P.
Right.
And everybody from Griselda.
Right.
And when you see that, too, you're thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, This is supposed to sound a certain
It's
way.
exactly what it's supposed to be.
How did the Griselda collab come together?
Because you've been doing some work with them for a minute, though.
Yeah, those are my guys.
Exactly.
So that was easy because those are my guys. So shout to my brothers at Griselda. I've been rocking with them since, I want to say 2014 is when me and Wes first met. And then, he introduced me to Khan and Benny and, the whole crew, everybody around them and the extended fam, and Derringer and Malek and everybody around, like, the whole Griselda. So I've known them for years. You know what I mean? What's that, 5 years now? Those are my guys. So that was nothing. We on each other's projects all the time. I'm on two Benny I'm on two Benny two Benny projects. I'm on two Conway projects. I'm on Fly Guy with Wes. I'm on, you know what I mean? Wes and them was on Easy Truth, Apollo Brown. Those are my guys, you know what I'm saying? So that was easy, because that's family.
Yeah.
So that, and I had the idea for just a huge posse cut. It had been a while since New York had a posse cut.
Yes,
since
that's-
hip hop had a posse cut.
Yes.
Yeah.
On some lyricism, maybe a
Yes.
posse cut like you got Khaled and Mad People. Like, yeah, that's not really a posse cut. It's
Not
just
the same, right.
it's a record with 5-6 features. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And
These
it's
were-
going to be
these
on the
were
radio
lyricists.
all
These
day.
were dudes giving
This is a
bars,
posse cut. This is everybody going nuts on a ridiculous beat. And we all like-minded lyricists and like-minded individuals. Let's do it. So, when putting that together, I had the idea for a while, and I was like, we do it like this. If everybody's from, it wasn't about East-West or anything like that, but it just so happened everybody was from the East Coast. So I was like, Eastern Conference All-Stars. So it was like an all-star game. Everybody's great. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because you can have a starting 5 in the league, and it don't mean all 5 of them is great.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know some starting 5s where they let somebody play, where they let somebody start, and he should be starting 15. You know what I'm saying? He should be starting 15.
We get into that shortly. We get into that very shortly.
But Eastern Conference All-Stars, everyone's an all-star.
Also, and
You know what I mean?
all you guys shined in it. Everybody ripped it.
Yeah, and
Love-
I added Elzai too. I know we talked about Griselda, but the show Elzai,
Yeah, I
of
love
course,
Elzai,
Elzai
too,
went
yeah.
crazy. So everybody went off. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. I don't think there's been a posse cut like this since like Reservoir Dogs. Which was Jay and the
Volume
Locks
2.
and Siegel,
Yeah.
and so like. It's been a while since there was a
True. Now I'm thinking
stupid
about it.
posse cut. You had 4-3-2-1, of course, which was before that.
But that was,
You had
John Blaze, which is before
John
that.
Blaze, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't think there's really been one like that bananas since Reservoir Dogs, and I just wanted to bring that vibe back on a joint. I was like, let's just have an extreme posse cut.
We love that you work with the Griselda dudes. 'Cause I love what they did.
Yeah, we
doing.
talked
And I
about
missed
that.
Benny's show
Okay,
last
sure.
week. I was supposed to go check that out, but
Okay.
I love what they're doing.
Yeah,
you know,
those
what I
are my
mean?
guys.
Some people will say, "Oh, they're not from the city," but they rep New York from Buffalo. Please, they rep.
They're making
well.
more New York stuff than a lot of New Yorkers that
True.
are
Yeah.
in
Word.
Queens and Harlem and Brooklyn and the Bronx.
Word.
You know what I mean?
Word.
And it's showing because when they do shows in the city,
People messing with them.
that ain't people from Buffalo driving 6 hours down here.
Nah.
When they do shows in Buffalo's coming
Buffalo's
out, of
out
course.
there,
But when
Yeah.
they come to the
When,
boroughs,
when they in, man, if they're at Sony Hall, that's not people from Buffalo
Yeah.
driving 6 hours. That's people from Brooklyn, Harlem, Queens, the Bronx, Staten Island, Long Island. That's motherfuckers right here. You know what I mean? So, they rocking. It don't matter that they're not from a borough or not. They from the city.
I agree.
and what I love about that joint too is just 5 dudes that don't care who's on the song. They're gonna go as hard as possible.
Absolutely. It had to be the same energy. It wasn't about let me hear so-and-so verse first. It wasn't about none of that. You know what I
Right.
mean? Everybody just got to it and got busy, and it came out awesome. It's the posse cut of the year, and
Yes,
it's
it is.
one of the dopest posse cuts, and I don't know how long.
Backpack Broadcasting continues to bring you the best original sports content, but now you can get more of the content you love. For as little as $3 a month, you can get access to bonus content, including behind-the-scenes footage and interviews from the Sports Walk, Sideline Stories, or the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast. All this exclusive content comes via Patreon. There are tiered levels of patronage, and each Backpack Broadcasting patron receives exclusive perks. Your support helps Backpack Broadcasting create more of the original content that you love. Visit Backpack Broadcasting's Patreon page and become a patron today. No, we like it, man. We love the album. We're excited about it. But I'm gonna transition to a little sports with you.
Yes, please.
I got to start with an apology for you. Last time,
Oh,
you
wow,
last
okay.
time you were up here,
Yeah.
you and we talked a little bit about Frank Ntilikina.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the word you told me he was trash. I believe that's what you said.
I don't remember, but I won't dispute that. I won't
No,
dispute
yeah,
that.
no, it was.
It was?
Okay.
It was.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no dispute coming from here. With that.
And I spoke to our man Ian Begley the other day. He said, "Oh, you gonna talk to Sky about Frank?" I said, "Yeah, of course."
Shout out to my brother Bagels.
I
Word
said,
up.
of
He's
course.
coming back up here
He's
soon.
coming up here
Okay,
soon.
yeah.
I,
Word, that's my
I
bro.
said, "Yo, of course I'm gonna talk to him about it." So I got to apologize to him.
Uh-oh.
I was kind of riding hard for Frank.
Where you see? I don't
You
remember.
remember that? I
don't
told you. I
remember.
said, "Yo, we got to give him some time." Now the man has not shown that. Yeah, see, you see his face? You saw his face right there. The man hasn't. The man has not played well.
No.
The jumpers looked awful.
And
It
this was in the 2017-18.
This was
season.
also
So this
before
was
we got
a year and
Dennis
a
Smith
half ago.
Jr., and I know you were higher on Dennis Smith Jr. than you were him. So now we have him in both. I'm going to say, I'm sorry, man.
So good.
I was wrong.
So good.
Ntilikina hasn't looked that good. There still is. Do you think there's any hope for him this season?
because he kind of played okay in the World Championship.
That's what I was gonna say. But
right.
you still got a little bit of hope though.
You know
because
what's crazy?
So I want to ask Scott.
First of all, I appreciate your apology.
Well, I'm being man. If I was wrong or something, I was
absolutely.
Wrong, you know what I'm saying?
I feel the same way. You know, when we had KP, you know, I went off on the KP thing on the draft because of what it was.
Oh, right.
I went off on the KP thing with the draft because of what it was, and it was, Phil literally was in the back like, it's gonna be a 4-year project. You know what I mean? So like we going off like, what are you talking about? You telling Melo and everybody, we gonna get it now, then you giving somebody a 4-year project. Now on the flip side, obviously KP was legit. So I came out on Twitter and was like, I was wrong. When I'm wrong, I admit it. So I appreciate you doing that. That was the moral of that story. I appreciate that. Yeah. As far as moving forward on Son, when I be ripping Son down, it's obviously nothing personal. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, right.
I remember reading his life story on one of them websites, and it was dope. It actually was like the exact same life story as Moutier. It was him, 2 older brothers, his mom, escaping from, super dire situations in Africa and moving to another country, and it was like Moutier's exact story.
Moutier's low key in a good spot now too.
Yeah, I think Utah's going to work, but he's going to learn a lot from Mike Conley. But
sure.
It was like the exact same story as Moutier. So I respect what he's been through, where he's at. It's nothing personal. When I rip Son down, it's about his game on the court. It's solely them 90 feet, them 93 feet on the court. That's it. You know what I mean?
That's how it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Twitter be thinking otherwise. Twitter be losing their mind.
That's not the same.
I need you to tell Twitter the same thing you just tell, like, listen, B, like, we got to keep it a buck.
Oh, we'll put clips out.
You know what I'm saying?
We got and I will tell people like Sky criticizing Frank, what I've never felt it was personal, and I've seen what you put on Twitter.
People be wilding for Son. I'm like, what, you owe Son money? Like, people be wilding for Son, B. I'm like, what is he shown?
So it's very divisive with him.
I think it was my man Alan Hahn. Shout out to Alan Hahn. He's been a huge supporter of the album, man. Me and him was texting the other day.
Nice.
He played the album like all day the day it dropped. He played it all through his show on ESPN Radio.
Oh, word? Okay.
Yeah. He played it like in and out of every commercial break. Yeah, he's awesome. So he loves the album. So shout out to him. But I remember he said something recently like, it's civil war.
Yeah.
With Ntilikina.
Yeah.
You either all the way love him or you all the way hate him. You know what I mean? Like, it's civil war. Like, it's a huge line in the middle of the Knicks fan base, and we're all Knicks fans, but it's bang. It's fire in the middle.
So where are you right now?
I mean, you know what I feel. Ain't nothing changed with me.
But that's what
I know what I feel.
There doesn't need to be a civil war though, because he's probably not in that rotation.
We need to. Let me tell you something. Maybe I'm bugging.
No, go.
I'm a 2K guy. I got 2K.
Yeah, we saw you post today. You got it.
I was
playing today.
He's not on my version of 2K.
Where is he? Is he like?
He's not there.
He's in the D League, or you took him off team?
No. When I bought it and I put it in the Xbox. Yeah. And I pick the Knicks, and I go up and down the whole line. He's not there.
I got to look at my roster. See if
he's not there.
I have not bought 2K to play it yet, so I don't even know.
And I haven't used the Knicks yet.
I haven't used the Knicks.
He's not there.
Really?
So I was like, is this the basketball gods? Because is my copy only without Son?
They
like everyone's there. Like
I gotta check and report back.
Please do.
I haven't played yet with the Knicks. I believe you. I don't see there's no reason.
I gotta check because I looked through the Knicks roster and I swear I saw. I don't know.
On mine, he's not. Reggie Bullock is there. Wayne Ellington is there.
But I was looking. I was
all the way down.
I was looking to see RJ Barrett's overall, so I don't know if I went all the way down.
Right. He's not there.
Do you like the RJ Barrett pick?
Yeah,
love it.
You liked it? I thought you liked because you got the jersey.
I
told you,
love it.
I told you, and I said this because
higher on Barrett than I'm not anti-Barrett. Let me just be clear. Mm-hmm. I was just like, oh man, I'm a little worried about his shot selection. Mm-hmm. Although I don't feel like if that's my least worry about him, it shouldn't be that crazy, right? I think and. People went too crazy in summer league when he struggled in the first 2 games.
Yeah,
those fans are ridiculous.
People are bored.
Yeah. Adrenaline is jumping. You're on the court. You're playing against your best friend in Zion.
Yeah.
It's your first time out here. You got all these people running around. You're in the league. It's day
lot.
one. It's like if you get to go on tour and you are up and coming artist and you get to open up for Nas at the Barclay or Jay at the Barclay.
Right.
Like, your adrenaline's going to be jumping. You're going to be going super hard. You're going to be doing the most. You might be doing a little too much. You might slip and fall. You're going to be bouncing around. You're going to lose your voice because you're screaming into the mic because you're so excited.
And with all that, being said, he was still rebounding really well.
He was getting doubles and rebounds and you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about?
That's why, and I do some TV with MSG now.
Yeah.
And that's why I was telling people before the lottery, after the lottery, I was like, y'all got the 3rd pick. Y'all going to get RJ Barrett. Y'all going to be good.
Right.
Trust me.
Yeah.
He might be the best player in this draft still. Like all said and done later
Right.
on, Zion's going to be really good.
like the trajectory and all that of how his career goes. And one of my people's works out with him. You know what I'm saying? As far as like not his trainer, but like, you know, works out with him and all that. Shout out to my man Dave. You know, yeah. So I already knew. You know, he was telling us, yo, son is it. Son is the
He's
one.
gonna be a
Trust.
star.
You know what I mean?
He's
so,
gonna be a
yeah.
star.
I mean, I wanna wrap up the Frank thing before we go to
go ahead.
I had a point.
Yeah.
I want to wrap the Frank thing before we go forward. RJ, anything else? You know, with the Frank thing, man, it's like people wilding. I mean, I get why. You know, I was talking to some of my peoples about it. It's the way he was sold. Defensive-minded point guard. We haven't had that since '92. We haven't had it since
Derek
'94.
Harper. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Derek Harper and maybe late '90s Charlie Ward and that. So it's the sell.
Yeah.
It's the way it was sold.
I got sold on that.
It's the
and
way
he
it
was
was
drafted
sold.
really high too.
Absolutely, and it's the way it was sold. So that's why people ride that train so hard. Yo, just give him time because his wingspan is 7 feet and da 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 and da 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 da. Because it was sold as defensive-minded point guard. We haven't had that in forever. And we ran through, and then you start chopping down people like Marbury and so on, so. And that's up for debate whether certain people deserve to be chopped down. Obviously, Marbury's great, but I'm just using him as an example because he was one of the point guards, and people look at it like, oh, we haven't had a point guard in forever. Now we got a defensive-minded point guard that we haven't had in 25 years. Boom, 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 boom. So it's the way it was sold, and that's why people ride that train so crazy. But it's like, yo, really take a look at what's going on. Yo, they celebrating when son miss a dunk. Like, we live in an era where you celebrate a missed dunk. Yeah. And that's not just him. That's in general.
Right,
like,
that's
I'm seeing that everywhere. Like, yo, so-and-so almost yammed it. Like, what?
I hate that, man.
Yo,
that's a whole
Twitter was
thing.
going stupid when he almost yammed it in the FIBA.
I remember, yeah. I saw that. I saw that on Twitter.
You gonna go stupid? Like, what?
I would say he still could
solid,
be. He still could become a serviceable
solidly
player.
in FIBA.
Yeah.
At certain moments,
Is
right?
it enough to excite me? Because I'm looking at you like you're looking at this guy.
Right.
The results are the results. That's my thing with people riding so hard. The results are the results, right?
Right.
Has he shot the ball well? The answer is no. Has he shown that he can penetrate consistently? The answer is no.
Has he shown that he has a handle?
No.
No.
Can he defend? Yes.
Yeah, he could defend.
He's really good. His defensive
Right.
skills
I'm not
are
going to say
extremely
elite. I'm not going to say elite.
Nah.
But he could get there.
Really good.
He could
at
get
that.
there elite defensively. Is he a really good defender? Yeah, he's a good defender.
Yeah.
But, there's a motor. Like, people like to talk about, Giannis, his first year, Giannis wasn't there yet, and so-and-so wasn't there yet, and they start comparing people. Yeah, they wasn't there yet, but you could see it. With certain things, you could see it. It's like if you got a rapper and he's new and, he don't got no projects out yet, but he's just, he's hungry and he's running around, and you're like, yo, this kid, his hook game ain't really there yet. He kind of screams a little too much on records where he ain't really figured. But man, that kid is. I can
like,
tell.
yo, if he puts it
I
together,
can see it.
you can see it.
He's gonna put it together in a couple years. I can see it. And that was Giannis and other people that people like to try to compare him
not
to.
see that for Frank.
That ain't there with son. And that's all I be trying to say to people. Like, yo, you gotta be honest with yourself. Like, cut it out with the whole. He. What they said in FIBA. It was like, he scored 2 points, but and 2 assists. And I'm just paraphrasing. 2 points, 2 assists, but. He assisted on 20 points because he passed to this guy who passed to that. Hockey assist, bro.
No, you're reaching.
Hockey assist.
When you do that,
but
you're
this
reaching.
kid, and they putting up emojis with the like the hockey assist. Yo, stop it. But then Dennis could give you 14, 5, and 6, and it's but he missed 3 threes in a row. Son just gave you 14, 5, and 6 and got to the lane anytime he wanted and set up everybody. Like, come on, stop it,
I was not high on Dennis Smith Jr. I'm a little bit more encouraged on him coming this year. I still want to see his game round out a little bit more.
Yeah, I want to see him continue to grow, but Dennis is legit, man. I mean, he proved. I mean, how long was he with us? 2 months? What do you got?
2 months.
February?
2 months, yeah.
2 months? Like,
speaking of that,
Dennis is legit, man.
I want to go back. Before we get to the offseason, I'll go back some with you.
Yeah.
Because I don't know your feelings on this.
Yeah.
The KP trade.
Yeah.
Where did you stand on that? Because I know how you felt about it when he was drafted. And then you admitted that, this pick actually ended up being
worked
good,
out. Yeah.
Right? How did you feel about it when they traded him?
It was wild, man, because, I looked at it like, you literally have a franchise guy. KP's legit. Can he sustain a whole season? And we got to see because he's had the injuries and da-da-da. But obviously he's legit. You know what I mean? 20-something points. You know, I don't remember his stats. So obviously he's legit.
Like 22 and 7.
Yeah,
like
that unicorn thing was a thing for a reason.
Yep.
You know, had respect around the league. The one thing that the Knicks lacked for a while after Melo was respect around the league for the players. Heads respected Melo, of course. A lot of heads in the league, Melo raised. You know, if you look at the KDs, you look at the Russells, you look whoever, those is guys I was looking up to Melo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you wasn't up under Son, you was Bron, D-Wade, you was right there with Son. Like, yo, my man's Melo's legit, bro. Melo, that guy. Like, you had Kobe talking about, yo, the one guy, Melo. You had Paul Pierce, the one guy, Melo. So heads feared Melo, of course. You know what I'm saying? But once Melo was gone, and even when he was there outside of Melo, it was like, who did you fear outside of Son? You know what I mean? Where every team has heads that you fear. You know, no matter how much so-and-so might put up, heads ain't really fear him. You know what I mean? And, you know, like Hardaway, like Tim Hardaway Jr., he would go off, but I don't think people really feared Son like that.
Nah.
If he went off, and I ain't even trying to throw shade on Son,
you're not trying to play
you know,
like
because
that,
he
right?
aight, you know what I mean? But, like, if he went off and got you 39 tonight, teams was just like, well, he got 39 on us tonight. They wasn't looking at it like, yo,
that's true.
I told you Son was going to get 39 on us. Nah, they wasn't looking at it like
yo,
that.
he got one.
Nah,
Right,
that's true.
right. They wasn't really fearing Son like that. And I'm not saying Son can't play because, you know, he do his thing. He ain't bad at all. You know, we had nights where he would get off and go crazy. But I'm just using him as an example. Like, I don't think other teams, I think it was just like, he got off tonight. Damn, he got one. You know what I mean? But heads feared KP.
Yep.
It was like, yo, it was scouting reports out on Son. That's what I mean when I say fear. The Knicks ain't really had nobody that has feared outside of Melo for a while. It was like, yo, KP, yo, you got, all right, here's the scouting report on Son. So he going to do this, da-da-da-da.
And because
like,
of that, that's why
it
I
was
was
real.
Mad. I was mad when I was mad.
So that's
at the trade.
right. That's
I was
my
not
point.
I
happy.
calmed them down.
Yeah, that's my point.
not happy.
To make a long story longer, like that's my point. It was like you had somebody that players around the league feared, coaches feared, and it had been a long time outside of Melo since that happened. You know what I mean? So to get that up for hope, you know, and at the time of it, all right, well, we're going to get so-and-so. So it hit me weird. I was like, dag, like I saw both sides of it, and I was like, dag, man, like we really got rid of Son, and Son was here. And this was before we knew all the other stuff behind the scenes or whatever is true or speculation. We still don't know. But just on the court, it was like, dag, man, like we really had something that we drafted. We didn't have to trade for. We didn't have to convince.
Yeah.
We drafted him. And we blew that to smithereens. You know what I mean? And it started with Phil. You know what I mean? It started from back then when Phil was like, I'll get rid of Son right now. I don't care. Like, that's pretty much what he said in so many words. He was like, I'll get rid of Son right now. Like, I don't think Son is ready. I'll get rid of him right now. You know what I mean? And people got in Dolan's ear and was like, yo, your man's about to blow it. I know we told you to stay out of this as your billionaire friends, to stay out of this. He's about to blow it. That team's about to be worth nothing.
Yeah.
Get a handle on that, and that's when Phil had to go. And that's just my speculation, but clearly that's what it was.
No,
but
I've heard the same thing.
Absolutely. That it was like, yo, your man, enough is enough. He about to blow all that away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
You know what I mean? So, you know, but when it went down, you know, it was like y'all couldn't salvage that relationship. Like after Phil was gone,
That's what you
y'all
said.
had a year.
Yeah.
That's
you
what I
know what I
said.
mean? Y'all had a
You
year.
have all the leverage.
Absolutely. Y'all had a year
I think-
and $153 million
Yeah.
to get this kid right. And I don't know him personally. I met him once. He was a cool dude. You
Right.
know, I don't know him personally beyond that, but you had a year. It's like being in a relationship. You had a year to talk to this person. You know what I mean? If you're dealing with a chick, you had a year to convince them what it is. You had a year to convince Duke, yo, this ain't that regime no more.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
This ain't that regime no more.
Yeah.
We moving different.
In a different
you know,
direction,
and y'all couldn't pull that off. I think part of it was, well, we know we getting so-and-so and so-and-so anyway. You know what I mean? And then that was a whole...
But that's where it gets
know?
especially
And that's-
hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where it gets hard because at the time it happens, you're like, all right, they have cap space. You already know who
that
they're
was the
going
Band-Aid
after.
on the wound. It was like, Dad, you
Now,
fell
did you-
really hard, but we got
But-
Band-Aids. And, you know what I mean?
And at that time, more so than I could remember, it seemed convincingly that people thought,
Oh, absolutely.
Kevin Durant, Kyrie,
You couldn't
more than
tell-
I've ever heard the Knicks being
Yo,
linked to anybody of that
Man,
stature.
KD Moms probably thought he was coming here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the speculation was so crazy.
everybody
Like
thought it.
it was like, yo, it's
Yeah.
done. And then it was pictures of Kyrie on the Upper West Side or whatever, moving into his crib. And
Yeah.
I remember somebody took a picture of son moving in his crib with boxes and sneakers. And yo, he's here. Like, you know what I mean?
There was like an orange one of them had orange sneakers on when they were in New York
it was
City.
all set up a certain way.
So how did you feel? You know, when June 30th came around,
Whatever,
and,
yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we find out that they're going to the Nets.
Oh man, I mean, you know me, I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, and I am anti-Nets everything. You know what I mean? So you know, it definitely hurt.
We vibe on that.
Yeah, I was just blown away, man. Well, you know, because and it's it's just like it's the Knicks, man. You know what I mean? Like you know, and there's a lot of things behind the scene that people may or may not feel a way about, but it's the Knicks, man. It's all I know as far as New York basketball. So it definitely hurt, but you know, I kind of felt like something might go a weird way, and I think the injury, the KD injury, made it. You know, I and this is just me. This isn't me speaking to anyone else. This is my speculation as a rapper. You know what I mean?
Right.
This isn't I'm inside and I work for someone. So, you know, I think the injury made it a thing where Son would have came, and then the injury happened, and it was like, yo, like if I'm riding the bench for a year trying to get right, is there enough here to hold me down? I don't know. You know what I mean? Is there enough here? These guys just won 17 games when these other guys just got out the playoffs. Granted, you know, it was the first round, but they got a team over there where I could take a night off, not meaning not play, but meaning literally not play, like sit on the bench. I don't mean, you know, bullshit on the court.
I
mean take a night off like, yo, I'm not feeling right. Let me sit down. And these guys are still going to be able to hold it down. You know what I mean? I think
logical.
That was the difference. And it's like I'm in the same city. It's like I want to be in New York, but I don't really know what this is going to be like on the court because I don't know if that roster is really it.
Exactly.
But this roster is all right. I seen them do it without me because I wasn't there. So if I got to sit for a year, it ain't like it's me and nothing else. Like they got some things going, and I'm still in the same city.
See, that's what I was saying.
And that was what it was.
That's what I was saying before is that you can't just really in sports in general, I think now you can't just tank and just hope. You have to show, like the Nets and the Clippers did, that there's a sort of infrastructure here that, look at the Clippers. Lou Williams was their best player after they traded their best player before Tobias Harris, and they still made it to the playoffs in the West, won 48 games, and pushed Golden State.
And I don't remember whose idea that was, if it was Ballmer or if it was Doc. One of the two. It came out. I just don't remember. It was one of the ideas that I think it might have been Doc, but it was like, no, we're not tanking. Everybody thought, oh, y'all got rid of Tobias Harris, who I really, really like a lot.
It was probably Doc.
I really like Tobias Harris a lot.
True.
It was, I think it was, but either him or Ballmer. It was like, we're not tanking. You know what I mean? Like, we're not tanking. We're going to push. Because they knew, like, yo, we going to make a splash this summer.
Yeah.
And we need to have that winning to some levels.
We need to show heads, yo,
yeah.
We can win with or without you. So if you come, we're only going to win more. Your job isn't going to be as hard as you think it is. You're not going to have to carry the whole load. KD looking at like, yo, I might have to carry this whole load, bro.
Yeah.
I'm
about
to play with Frankie Smokes.
But that's why
I'm about to carry the whole load. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yo, this is why the people won't come for you on Twitter, man. Today,
man, listen, B. Is that not the truth?
Bro, I already admitted it though.
So how they gonna come? You know what I'm saying?
I'm a rational Knick fan, so if you call him Frankie Smokes ain't.
But here's the thing. But that's why.
That's what they call him. Twitter calls.
That's what
Twitter calls. Oh, that's not a
yeah,
diss. They call him Frankie Smokes.
No, Twitter calls. That's his nickname, bro.
No, that's like his nickname. Like KD's the unit because they say he be smoking people. He be smoking people.
Smoking who?
Right. There you go. And you a Frank fan. There you go. See how real it is?
I think you saw
right.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Frankie,
but
I thought
that's his nickname. No, they call him Frankie Smokes.
Him and they really call him that?
No, they call him Frankie Smokes.
No, they really do.
Like his biggest supporters.
I'm glad I missed that.
But going back to the Knicks, I just don't agree with you. And this is what I was saying before when it happened. I don't think they were ready to bring in KD, Kyrie Irving, and to sort of make like just ready from an organizational standpoint, like the roster. The roster, the front office, like I don't think they're ready to bring on those two stars and have enough to support them around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And now that they're in the situation that they're in terms of rebuilding with short-term contracts, other than Julius Randle, which I thought was actually very smart.
Me too. I've liked Julius Randle for a long time.
But I think where they're at right now, they're fine. They're going to be a team that plays hard.
I think they're almost fine.
They have young players. They're probably going to win 32, something like that.
Man, if they win 32, that's almost double what they won last year. And that's what I'm going for. I'm hoping they crack 30.
I like their roster, though.
Right. I'm hoping they crack 30.
In terms of, like, Marcus Morris, RJ Barrett.
I thought that was great.
RJ Barrett. Marcus Morris getting him last minute.
So you like the offseason?
Bobby Portis.
I liked it a little bit. I think they went too power forward crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They were too heavy on the floor.
There's one center on the team. That's Mitchell Robinson.
Yep.
Literally, there's one. So they're gonna make Taj Gibson play the center.
No, I think
they're gonna make
Portis,
Bobby play center.
I think Bobby Portis is your backup center.
he's a 4, but they're gonna make him for
No,
sure.
yeah.
They're gonna make
Well,
him for sure.
well, the floor, so it's good.
Well, basketball, the NBA more specifically, but basketball in general,
which
I'm
super
it's more
against.
it's
which
more
I'm super-
positionless
yeah,
now.
which
Oh,
I'm
in what
super-
way? Like you
this-
like low post.
No, I just like
Or-
dedicated positions. I like the versatility of being able to do multiple things.
Right,
But
yeah.
I need my point guard to really be a point guard.
No, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Not Frankie
I need
Smoke.
my center to, you know what I mean? But I ain't say it. It wasn't me. It wasn't me on that one.
That was me.
I let some breathe a little bit on that one. You know, I want my center to really be a center. Does that mean I don't want my center to be able to come out and hit a mid range or whatever?
Right.
Yeah, but I want my center to really be a center. You know what I mean? I want my two guard to really be a two guard.
But I feel you on
I'm
that,
so
yeah.
not a fan of positionless basketball. I'm cool with the idea of it, of like the capability. Like, yo, if we need you to run the 5, you can. If we need you to run the 1, we can. But I need my PG to be a PG.
No,
I need
I agree.
my 3 to be a 3. You know what I mean?
You know,
I'm with that.
you know the starters in the NBA that average the most points now are point guards. I don't like that.
Exactly.
I actually
exactly.
don't like that.
And Draymond Green is averaged the most assists from the
Yeah.
4th spot
Yeah,
on the Warriors.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
You see a lot of
I'm
dudes
not
now-
I'm not a fan of that. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm
you
saying?
see a lot of dudes now who are averaging from the point guard position 22 and like 5 assists.
And I don't
Yeah.
like that.
Where
either.
I'd rather see 18 and 8.
Right.
You know?
I've always been the guy where I need my point guard to average at least 8.
Yeah.
At least 8.
At least 7, 8
Like
assists.
that half a season with Raymond Felton, even though it was, you
But
know,
he played good
clouds
that
and smoke.
season.
That's where I'm going.
That's
that
his
half
best
a season
basketball.
when
He
he
could have been
averaged
an all-star.
when he averaged 17 and 9.
Yeah, I think it was 9. Yeah,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what I want from my
And
point.
was running
17
that
and
pick- running
9.
that pick and
Yeah.
roll with
17
Stat?
and
Yeah.
9.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, above average.
You know who's gonna get
wonderful
17 and
point
9
guard
this
play.
year?
Who's that?
Frankie Smoke.
17. So,
You-
I,
I-
ain't
what you
gonna-
gonna say,
I had
15 turnovers?
I had a
Yes.
joke lined up in the chamber. I ain't gonna go there.
Y'all was trying to set Sky up.
I'm
man.
gonna leave these people alone, man. I'm gonna leave these Twitter people alone.
So you said, you know, I agree with you. They went kind of heavy with the power forward, but in terms of the value signing, Sky, they did.
Oh
it.
yeah. They did it right. They did it
feel
right
like they
because
did it right.
because it was 1-and-1s outside of Julius Randle, which I thought was smooth. Like I like Julius Randle as a player a lot.
Me too.
Since LA and then in New Orleans, I was always like, "Dak, son is legit, man." Like we could grab Son. Granted, at the time we didn't need him because we had KP, but it was like Son is legit, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
for
Like
sure.
he's legit. He's obviously gonna be the leading scorer. He's gonna average the most points on the team.
Yeah,
for sure.
he should.
The offense is flowing through him.
Yep.
It's gonna be him, Dennis, RJ as far as the pecking
He can
order.
shoot threes now, too.
Right, you know what I mean. So I like the Julius Randle thing a lot. Love the RJ draft, of course. I copped the jersey the minute NBA store said it was available. What else did we do? I like the Taj Gibson move because of the veteran leadership.
Yeah,
The locker room thing.
Brooklyn guy,
Yeah,
Fort
from
Greene.
Fort Greene and all that. You know what I mean. I like the Taj Gibson move for the leadership angle. I'm trying to think of what else we did.
Bobby Portis.
Bobby Portis is dope.
I was telling
Bobby
him
Portis is dope.
I'm a big Bobby Portis guy, but he thinks I just like Bobby Portis
one reason.
because he punched Nikola
Because he rocked
Mirotic
Duke.
in the face.
Yeah, because he rocked Duke.
But I'm like, yo, there's a reason that
he's a dog. He's a dog.
Don't get me wrong. I like
Listen,
that kind of guy.
My
on the
whole
team.
my
Come
whole
on.
point with that
A 90s
discussion
Knicks
is there's a
fan.
reason Mirotic got traded after and Bobby Portis didn't.
Right. And
Bulls took his side.
Mirotic is aight. Mirotic is aight. But
Yes.
I like the Portis move. I like
Marcus Morris?
Yeah, it's Marcus, right? I
Yeah,
always
Marcus.
confuse
Marcus.
Y'all got Marcus.
I always
Yeah,
confuse
yeah,
which
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah. I like Marcus Morris a lot.
Mitchell Robinson's development.
I mean, Mitchell.
He's probably gonna
Mitchell's
he
gonna
might
be
lead
great.
the league in blocks.
Yeah, Mitchell's
He might
gonna
lead
be
the league
great.
in
So
blocks.
you're high Mitch too. I am. I'm definitely.
Yeah,
high on
Mitch is going to be great. I think we're not going to see the humongous jump everyone's looking for next year, I don't think. But to no fault of his own. That's not a shot
Do you
to
think
him.
any player on this team makes a jump? Do you think it's Dennis Smith Jr.?
Yeah.
You
I
think he's
it's
the guy?
Dennis.
You think he's
and
the guy
that's not
takes the lead?
even
Okay.
a biased thing because I'm a fan of Son. Like, I think so. It's the third year.
He's gonna have the keys.
He's in that. He got the keys.
Yeah.
He's in the market. He's shown the improvement. See, the best thing that could happen is it's like, okay, like going to the gym, right? Like they say, people say, it's hard to get in the gym, Like I'm in the gym all the time now. People say, it's hard to get in the gym, it's hard to get in the gym. Once you push through and you see a little bit of
result.
gain,
Yep.
you don't want to leave.
As a former personal
Like when
trainer,
you
yeah.
see a little bit of gain,
No, it's true.
you look in the mirror or a chick walk by you,
She
and be
give you that
Damn,
look.
she give-
or
she
your,
compliment
or
you?
your shirt fit
Fit right?
small.
Yeah.
Your shirt fit a little small after a month.
You like
Now
oh,
you ready to do 2 a days.
Yeah.
You like, yo, I went in the morning, I'm about to go after work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what I see with Dennis. Like, he's seeing the improvement and he's seeing the talk change about him a little bit. Like when he was in Dallas, people was like, oh, I don't know. And now when he got with the Knicks, that second half of the season, heads was like, yo, Dennis, all right. Then the league was saying, yo, Dennis is all right.
He showed me some stuff where I was
That's
like,
all
okay.
he needed was to see the gym working, and I'm just using the gym as a metaphor. Now he out of here. You know what I mean? So, like, I think the jump is going to come from Dennis. I love Zoe. You know, I'm curious as to what happens with Dame. With Damian Dotson, because it just seems overcrowded now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Does he get
Elfrid
the minutes?
Payton is there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it seems overcrowded. I'm very curious as to what happens with Damian Dotson, and I think Damian Dotson is dope.
I like him. He's a good 3-and-D player.
Yeah. I'm curious as to what happens with him, because him and Zoe are essentially the same guy. He play a little more defense than Zoe, but him and Zoe are essentially the same guy. And if you're giving the ball to one of them in the last second, they both could do it, but you might lean a little more towards Zoe because he got more in the bag. You know what I mean? So I'm curious as to what happens with him, but he's dope. What else do we get in the offseason, man? Elfrid Payton, I think that's going to be cool. I'm very curious as to him and Dennis because he is a starting point guard. Dennis kind of has the keys, but I know they're going to let them battle it out.
You think they'll both start in the backcourt? Or
they can't because you need a real legit shooter. And they're gonna start RJ.
RJ's gonna be your 2, right?
He has to.
So.
Yeah. I like the idea of RJ at the 3, but I want him at the 2.
Are you fine with DSJ coming off the bench
behind Peyton?
Yeah,
I don't know yet. You know, I got to see that. I think I got a little more stock in Dennis.
What's your
right
starting
now.
5 in 2K when you play with them right now?
Oh, it's Dennis, RJ. Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox is all right. It's Dennis, RJ, Kevin Knox, Julius, and Mitchell. So it's kind of typical. You know, I ain't really changed it too much. I'm just joking with Kevin. Kevin, cool. You know, I think Kevin got the tools. I think it's just about tweaking. I'm a big fan of players working with former players.
Yeah.
I wish I was in the league to kind of preach that more, like how Olajuwon had heads coming to the crib for 2 weeks.
Working
I'm a big fan of that.
Same.
I would send Kevin Knox to Tracy McGrady right away.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? Right away.
That's a good player to play
right
with.
away.
Who would you send
Same
Frank
body type,
Ntilikina
too.
to go work out with? No, I'm serious.
Tony Allen.
No, because he's no,
He already got the defense. You
got
know,
defense.
according to everybody else.
No, I'm giving Scott a chance to it's a good question.
You know what? No, because I thought about this for a while, and I feel like I had come up with a solution, but I don't remember it. So now I'm trying to come up with it on the fly again the way it makes sense. Motor, man. Motor. It's really about that motor, man.
And if you can even teach that, right? Because that's like a whole
very
nother
hard
question,
to,
man.
man. It's a confidence thing. That's why he did I mean, people saying he went off. That's why he did okay in FIBA, because he was home. You know what I mean? He was with his peoples. It was with a bunch of
You feel good when
team
you're home
friends.
with your people.
Exactly.
Right? That's true.
It's a confidence thing, man. But you know what? Giannis came and took over. I don't want to hear that I'm not home. Giannis came and took over.
He was far from home. And
You know what I'm saying?
He got
Giannis
hard,
Giannis was playing in the street with no shoes. He talks about it all the time. Like him and his brother shared shoes.
Yep.
He came here and took over and still speak broken English. Joel Embiid came here, all the confidence in the world.
So
I don't want to
your
hear
point-
that.
Your point is get it done,
Pascal
right?
Siakam, too.
I want to hear, you know what I'm saying?
Last year.
I want to hear that.
All right,
you know?
we-
But
we
he
do-
was more comfortable with that. But going back to who
Yeah.
I would link son with.
Yeah, I'm curious.
This is a tough
Oh, man.
This is a tough one.
And it's very tough because this is my man.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
You know, he was my guy growing up.
Oh,
I would
no.
call. I know. I wouldn't, because
I feel like you and I had the same Nick favorite player. Are we talking?
Oh no, he's
is
not
that
a
a
Nick.
Nick? Oh, forget
I mean,
it.
he was a Nick for a second,
oh,
but
okay.
you know, I mean, if you got the
now
album,
I know
you
you
got
got-
the
now I
album,
know
you know,
where you're
yeah.
going with.
It would kill me because this
no.
is my man.
Oh,
like I
wait a
love
minute.
him. Like
I think
he's
and I
my
bet-
favorite
yeah, and I got to meet him
player
a couple years ago.
as a kid on the earth. I'd send him to Penny.
Wow.
I'd send him to Penny
Wow.
because of the height, the wingspan, and you got to give him some swag and motor. And Penny ran that in
Yes,
the
he
mid
did.
'90s. I'd send him to Penny. I'd call Penny with 100,000 and say, "Hey man, like what's up?" You know what I mean? Like
fix this kid.
I'd send him to Penny mainly because of the height. If he gonna be a 6'6", 6'5", if he gonna be a 6'6" point guard and y'all gonna push that, I'd send him to Penny. As much as I'd be like,
that's not-
I don't know if this kid deserved to be with Penny, but nah. But I'd send him to Penny. I'd send him to Penny. I'd send Kevin Knox to Tracy McGrady.
I like that.
I would send. Yeah, this is a cool segment. Yeah, I'd send.
It is.
DSJ.
That's where I was going next. I would send Dennis to see Dennis.
You could send him to Penny also.
He's not tall enough.
He's not as
He's
tall.
not tall enough. Yeah.
He always
See,
reminds me of Steve Francis. That's who he's reminded.
Well,
me
he
of.
already in that bag.
You don't want him.
Yeah.
You don't want.
I don't
you
want him.
don't
I don't want him in
Well,
that bag.
old
no.
Steve Francis.
Yeah,
Houston
old
Steve
Houston
Francis.
Steve
Houston
Francis.
Steve
Yeah.
Francis. I don't want him in the.
See,
in
I
the
always
bag.
said.
What about Damian Lillard? I know he's in the league already.
Nah, I would go retired players.
Retired,
I would
you
go
go
retired
retired.
players. Yeah. See, when we had Moody, I would say send Moody to Jason Kidd. Like I always said that to myself. Like,
yeah.
Point
send
guard
Moody
who
to
did
That
Jason
was his
Kidd.
comparison coming out of high school.
Because it was like, yo, he could play, he can't shoot. Jason Kidd couldn't shoot nothing.
Yep.
They was calling him Ace Kid because he had no J, and then he wound up becoming one of the top 3-point percentage shooters in the league. You know what I mean?
Who you thinking about for DSJ?
So-
What about Baron Davis?
That makes a lot of sense.
that does actually.
That
About
makes
the
a lot of
same
sense.
height.
Height
Also.
thing
actually
is
really
very
good.
similar.
Athleticism
I gotta
before
start- we gotta- I gotta
before
start
Baron
asking people
Davis
this
had the
more when they
injury.
come up here about who they. 'cause
I
that's
don't
a
know,
good
man.
thing.
I might put that in my pocket. Nah,
No. You
guys.
should.
Nah,
you
you
can
guys.
do whatever you want to do with it.
Nah,
I
you guys.
I never think about it enough about who you should.
I
be
do
at
that all the
players.
time because it started with the Olajuwon thing, where Olajuwon, Amari went over and Dwight Howard went over, and I was like, yo, heads need to do that more.
Kobe
like,
did it too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you talk about all these players who can't shoot. Yo, call Ray Allen, be like,
Yo,
why
for
isn't
real.
his phone on fire?
Right.
Like,
He got time.
You know what I'm saying?
But
like,
you know what's funny? You say that. I literally listened to a podcast where JJ Redick.
Yo,
was
I was
talking
gonna bring that up.
I forgot who he's interviewing.
Zach Lowe.
Zach Lowe.
Yeah.
Zach Lowe was like, "Do players call you to work out and shoot?"
I don't
He's
get
like-
it.
He's like, he'll tell dudes he's working with them at the MBPA on whatever Midtown,
Or in Dumbo.
and dudes won't come through.
Right.
It's like they be shook.
Because they hanging out with a trainer who got 600,000 followers on the
Right.
gram, and they letting him train them.
Yup.
Whereas the dude who getting paid millions to be a knockdown shooter, the
In
Kyle
your
Korvers
league.
and Reddick and
Right.
all these. Yo,
Why would you not
Ray
rock with
Allen
that
phone
dude?
Ray Allen supposed to have to change his number every day because his phone on fire so much. That's the way it should be.
Because he's one
right?
of the greatest shooters of all time, right?
Dude, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I
Right.
would be all over his phone. Like, yo, you see this kid Frank? Like, here, you know what I mean?
Right,
Or, like,
right.
you know,
Anybody,
like,
but
or if
right.
you talking about Dennis, right? Like, we
Right.
talked about Dennis. You know, Dennis got the super motor. He's a pit bull. He's a dog.
Baron
you
Davis,
know,
bro.
his athleticism is stupid. I like the Baron Davis thing. But when I look at sending players with somebody, it's to fix something they don't already do. And Dennis kind of do what Baron does a little bit, athletic, moving, that. So for me, I'm looking for a shooter. I'm looking for somebody, a point guard who was a shooter. So I probably, even though he wasn't a point guard, I mean, anybody who need to shoot, I'm calling Ray Allen right away. Like,
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
phone call.
I
You know what I
mean,
mean?
everybody-
So if that's the case,
The first point guard shooter I think of is Steve Nash. Although his game is not the same, but you would want him to
right,
be
and
more
he
of a
ain't playing no
passing point
defense.
guard.
So you don't
No
really,
defense.
you know what I mean? He don't
That's
play no
true, too.
defense. But
But for the shot, yeah.
right. So I think I would go Ray Allen with Dennis just for the shooting. You know what I mean? But if we talking position and keeping it, I like the Baron Davis thing. They do a lot of the same things, but I like the Baron Davis thing. Mitchell, man.
Mitchell was where I was going
Jeez,
next.
Mitchell's great, man. I mean, he's got to gain some muscle, but I think that's metabolism. I think it's just because he's so young.
And
He's
he'll
like
learn not to
19.
foul as much and
Yeah,
things like that too.
yeah. I mean, you think centers, you think Olajuwon right away.
But
know what I mean?
what you want from Mitchell is you want him to dominate on the boards.
Right.
Like probably more
Right.
than anything else.
Right.
And you want him to be able to be a threat around the basket.
How about
Right.
his guy got for him play for the Knicks, Marcus
Tyson?
Camby?
Oh. I thought you were gonna say Tyson Chandler.
Yeah, no, Marcus. Chandler was legit, man.
Yeah.
Chandler. I mean, he pissed me off that year in the playoffs against the Pacers
Pacers.
because there was games he had like 4 and 3.
And
But-
Hibbert was outplaying him. That's
That was
Right.
I
You know
think
what
that
I'm
was the
saying?
year he won Defensive Player of the
it
Year,
was
right?
the year. Yes,
right.
It was.
But I always like Tyson Chandler. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, for
Tyson
sure.
Chandler legit. You know what I mean?
I like this segment.
Yeah, I
Yo.
think I think for Mitchell, man, you know, you want to say Olajuwon, of course. Mutombo, yeah, but you know, he already blocking everything. You know, I think Pat make a lot of sense. You know, I
Patrick
think,
Ewing.
Yeah, I think Pat
course.
make a lot of sense because
Yeah.
Pat had a in and out.
Get him
Pat
some
had
offense.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like Mitch gonna be straight. I'm not worried about son. Mitch gonna be straight.
So yeah, he's the one guy on the team I'm
Mitch
feel
gonna be
good
straight.
about.
Yeah,
I feel-
Mitch
A
gonna be
couple
all
more.
we
Alonzo
gotta let you get
Trier.
out of here.
Alonzo Trier.
right.
Because I think
Trier straight. I like Trier a lot.
if he becomes more of a playmaker,
That's it.
He'll be straight.
Yeah. I mean, it was
So
to the point where
I'm
like
trying to think of a combo guard.
Yo, it's to the point where, like, if he really decided to kind of get a PG mindset, like a point guard mindset,
yeah.
he could be the starting point guard. You know what I mean? Because his motor is there. He could penetrate. He got
Got the
handle. He
handle.
could score. If he just had it like, yo, just pass more. Now, granted, he's never had to be that guy because it was a 2 guard. But if it was just like, yo, you know what? We want you to start playing the 1 and really commit to that.
Yeah.
He'd be out of control because he has the arsenal. So if he was just like, yo, I'm just going to get 8 assists and I'm going to make sure I get 8 assists tonight. Like, I remember Shaq said something like, yo, my goal every night was to score 7 points a quarter. Because he was like, that's 28 points a
That's
game.
28 points a game, yeah.
Because all I got to do is get 7 points a quarter.
And he used to
If
do
I
that.
make sure I get 7 points a quarter,
He did that.
good. You know what I'm saying? And he did that. He was like, yo, I don't got to worry. I need 25, 28 for the game. So now you just give me 7 points.
Yeah.
Let me get 7 points
always
right now.
easy to
All
break
it's
things
done.
down to
Let
smaller
me get seven.
increments,
seven.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just kept going. So, like, I think if Zoe was on, and he doesn't have to be that. You know what I mean? Because he's not a point guard. But
Right.
if that became the MO and it was like, yo, son, just go out there and get like 7 assists tonight. Do whatever else you want. Just try to make sure you get 7 assists. Son really could be the starting PG because he got all the other tricks in the bag. You know what I mean?
He's
So,
had games where he's had 7, 6.
yeah, son is
8.
legit.
he's
Son is
had-
legit.
I've watched
And he's
him
a
when
dog.
he-
He got a motor. He's legit.
He's
Yeah.
legit.
He just needs playmaking ability and a little more defense. He'll be straight.
If they want him to run the one.
If they
you know
want
what I
him
mean?
to
Which
run.
they're not going to have.
But it would just help in general. Just I mean,
have
if people
that.
are
Yeah.
more,
Skill
if people
set.
are becoming more positionless in terms of how they run their
Right.
basketball sets.
Right.
Couple more things real quick before we get you out.
Oh,
of here.
R.J. Barrett.
Oh yeah,
That's-
let's go.
That's
RJ
the
Barrett.
that's the big one.
I know
Oh,
he's young.
That's the big one.
Yeah, see, I like T-Mac for him too, but I like James Harden for him because they both lefties. Just
Michael Redd.
not the defensive thing, you know what I'm saying? Like not the defensive thing from Harden, please no. But
definitely
Son
not.
already played D. You know what I mean? Son already played D. Just really like shooting from a 2-guard perspective, you know, just being a tall 2-guard. Was he 6'8"? You know what I mean?
Michael Redd was lefty, 2 guard.
Yeah, Michael Redd was nice.
Good
Michael
shot
Redd was
too.
nice.
He can
Yeah.
shoot.
You could. I mean,
I like James Harden for him. I like Paul George for him. You know, big Paul George fan. I love Paul George. Pause.
So, me too.
I
Clippers are
like
gonna be
Paul
great.
George for him.
Clippers are gonna be great, man.
Yeah, but they doing that positionless with a 3 and a 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though Kawhi's great, Paul George is great, so they're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But that's just the purist
basketball
in me.
fan in
You know what I mean?
you.
That's the
Right.
purist in me. But they're gonna be fine because Kawhi's gonna play the 4. He's muscle. He's strong. He's fantastic as a player. He's pretty much flawless.
Who do you-
PG's great.
Who do you
so.
think wins the championship this year?
I have no idea, and I love it.
I know.
yeah.
So, it's so open this year,
Because
right?
it was forever. It was
It's 10
one of
teams.
two. It was either whoever Braun was with or it was the Warriors. You know what I mean? And now, even Braun's squad, that thing may not go where it need to go.
Might
You
not.
know what I
Sure.
mean? Like
Might not.
now, I love the idea of Braun playing the 1,
Yeah.
like committing to the 1, not
Yeah, yeah.
positionless, but committing to the 1.
Right.
Because he always wanted to be Magic Johnson in Charles Oakley's body. You know what I mean? So like, which is incredible. That's not even
Yeah,
a
no,
diss.
that's not a diss.
That's
It's just-
incredible.
it's good.
Like,
You think about it.
yeah, if
Like,
you could be Xavier McDaniel, Charles Oakley body, but be Magic Johnson,
like
that's
Magic
insane.
Johnson, that's insane.
Yeah, it's a monster. You know what I mean? That's insane. Like, so I think him running the 1, and who they got? What they got? Danny Green at the 2,
Danny
and
Green.
then Kuz, because I love Kuz. Kuz at the 3. Put
AD.
Kuz back at his
AD
original
and
position.
then Dwight.
AD.
JaVale McGee.
Nah, they're starting
starts,
JaVale McGee.
and then Dwight Howard comes off the
Right.
bench.
I mean, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be hard to top that. I just don't know what their bench look like outside of Caruso.
You got Rondo, Quinn Cook.
Love Rondo.
Quinn Cook.
Quinn Cook is dope. He did his thing over there.
The bench isn't that good. We're talking Caruso.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, so
Dwight
I don't
Howard.
know. You know
Well,
what I
they
mean?
need
And
more shooting. That's the big
always,
thing, though. Yeah.
absolutely. So the thing is, because they're gonna depend on Danny Green to hit every 3. So and he's a shooter. Danny Green is nice.
Contavious Caldwell Pope.
Oh, but
Oh, they
he's
still got
streaky.
Son?
But he's
Okay.
streaky.
Yeah, huh?
He's streaky.
Yeah, he's street. Sometimes he go nuts, and sometimes it's a different thing.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that I don't have an answer for that.
Oh, they also
Oh,
got,
me too.
They also got Jared Dudley and
Oh,
Avery
my
Bradley.
God. So they don't.
Oh, I
so
forgot
they
about
have.
Avery Bradley.
So they have Avery Bradley. Okay.
Yeah. Although his shooting has gone down the last couple years.
They had you named one more player.
Okay.
All right.
You're not in Jared Dudley?
And he be coming at my man, B.
He
like,
follows me on
Oh, he
Twitter,
comes
bro.
at everybody.
He'll see this.
He comes at everybody.
whatever.
He's supposed to come up. He's supposed to come up here too.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if that's gonna happen when he was with the Nets.
Before
was
he,
trying to get
yeah,
him up
yeah.
here.
Because when I was
Well, he in
covering the
LA
Nets, we
now.
were supposed to
You know,
Be
yeah.
coming at my man, B. Be coming at Melo. Like, nah, B.
What did he say about Melo?
Man,
Oh,
he went
yo.
on first take going off on something.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
see that. That whole he was on Get Up in the Morning and that first take, and I did see that when he.
Let's ask you about that real quick. Not
Yeah.
even just that, but Melo in general.
Yeah.
because
'Cause we know that's your man, too.
We've
Yeah.
talked about this extensively. That we think obviously that he should be on a team.
Right.
I said Miami would be a great fit for him because
It
they
would.
need somebody.
And they
like
got the
that.
room. They got the
I
room.
mentioned Portland.
Portland would be perfect.
I mentioned Charlotte last year before they got rid of Kemba, but that ain't gonna happen
Portland
now.
is where I said. I think
Portland's probably the best spot.
One, do you think he'll? I mean, I don't know what you know in terms
I
of
don't know
like
anything.
insider thing,
Yeah, I don't know anything.
but
and that's the homie, but I don't know.
But
I don't know.
do you think? Obviously, you think he should be back, but
100%.
do you think it's going to happen? And where, obviously, do you? think
I don't know, man, because I'm not in those offices as far as the conversation.
Training
in the
camp's in
league.
1 week.
Yeah,
that's why.
But
it's,
people
like,
get
tough.
picked up in the middle of the season and da da. You know what I mean? Like
Does
that.
it bother you that Joe Johnson just got signed to Detroit, and Melo's still not.
Yeah, but not because of Joe.
Yeah, no shade on Joe.
Right, because of the league.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Not because of Joe. Joe's still nice. Joe, he's a little older than Melo, but Joe's still nice.
Yeah.
And they're obviously going to use him right. They're not going to be like, yo, start and play 35 minutes.
Yeah,
Yo, come off the bench and get busy. And if we got a game where they doubling Blake and we're down by 2, come in and get busy and do what you do and get your big 3 on. You know what I mean? Like, and get busy. And Joe's always, ISO Joe. But it kills me, man. Like, they be killing Melo for playing a certain game, and they call Joe ISO Joe. You know what I mean? And it's like, wait a minute.
That's true, though.
It's true.
Like, wait a minute. Like, y'all be killing son for playing a certain way. But then, ISO Joe just got signed. And I like Joe, so this ain't about him. It's about everybody around. You know what I mean?
It sort of reminds me of like the Colin Kaepernick situation where they're just going to find excuses.
Absolutely.
We don't want this much attention going to somebody who's not going to start.
Every city we go in, it's going to be reporters and everybody all around asking about this and that and that, and we don't need that. Like, stop it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
All
like,
the NBA players are playing with Melo in the summer. Like, he's still cold.
Otherwise,
they wouldn't be running with you.
You can't tell me that there's I can't even put the number on it, but whatever amount of dudes there is in the league,
like 450.
450, right? Can you even argue me that there's 200 dudes that are better than Melo, or if somebody's going to tell me, because the other argument you hear in Sky is he's not going to know how to fit his role on the team. Man. I find that a little hard to believe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that he can't at this point in his career say, "Hey, this is where I work." And we saw the man come on First Take. Said to Stephen A, "I'm willing to play whatever role there's needed to be."
You saw him come off the bench. It's not like he refused to come off the bench in Houston. He came off the bench every game except like one. Like one or two. You know what I mean? Or one game. It was nothing.
He started one, and in preseason, then they sat him.
Right. It was nothing. Yeah. It was like, all right, whatever. Like, that's what y'all, cool.
The team I'm campaigning for to get him is Miami, man.
Oh, because
in Miami, he'd be the 3rd or 4th best player right now. He starts over Kelly
He probably would start. Yeah,
he starts over Kelly Olynyk.
He would start.
So then you're having Dragic, Jimmy Butler, probably Justice Winslow or James Johnson at the 3. Bam Adebayo, my boy, because I think he's going to break out.
Bam
this
is
year.
great. Yeah, I like
and
Bam.
Carmelo Anthony will be your 4. Bam will be your 5.
I think he would fit well there too.
He would.
But and I like him in Portland.
I love him in Portland. He got a better chance to win in Portland.
With Dan?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He'll fit right in. He'll fit.
Although he could come off the bench or start in Portland. Because who's they starting 3 or 4?
They don't really have
it. They
traded
Harkless to the Heat.
Right.
What's the Whiteside there? So they don't really have one.
He could start at the 3 or the 4. Or he comes to
Rodney Hood or...
Right. And I'm not mad at Rodney Hood. Rodney Hood is all right, but... You starting Rodney Hood over Melo? Like, and I ain't mad at Rodney Hood. Rodney Hood, all right. Like, that's not a shot.
Buckets, right.
Or if you're gonna start him at the 3, then you start Melo at the 4. So like, but even if he don't start, like, it ain't even. I'm not campaigning that he got to start. Like,
right. But it makes sense to bring him off the bench if Lillard and McCollum are dominating the ball in the starting lineup.
Now that
then
makes
he comes
sense
off the bench
because he
plays 25 minutes or whatever, and he gives you 15.
And he can get off.
And that's a good fit for me with him there. So the league is.
And he will kill any second unit in the league.
That's the other thing.
He's killing half of these first units, if not more.
That's why you
telling me he can't come off the league and kill a second unit? So you got him in Portland and you got Jared Dudley in LA and as the second unit, and you telling me Portland second unit not gonna kill LA second unit? Like, stop.
Cut
that out, B.
Like, you can take all that other stuff out, but at the end of the day, it's basketball.
Yeah, like, come on, man.
Players are going.
I'm with you. The league is gonna be fun this year. I'm definitely excited about that.
I love the fact that it's a duo league now, as opposed to the big 3 and the super team.
So you didn't like the big 3 and superstar?
It was cool. It's not that I didn't like it.
But you glad that it's over?
I like.
Golden State beat it down though.
Yeah,
with the big 3.
No, they ran through it, but it's like now. With the duos, 1, it takes you back to the 90s. It's literally like NBA Jam. It takes you back to the 90s. Yeah. And then for 2, it's more spread out now. I love the duo wave. Love it. You know what I mean? Now, because now you got more people that got to do more work. Now, like, you got to really show, because it ain't a big 3. It ain't a super team of 4 or 5. It's 2. So you got more role players that got to really get busy and do their thing and be more than role players. You know, you got 3 other guys on the starting 5 that got to really get to it. Yeah. You got a bench of, 8 to 10 dudes that got to really get to it. So, like, I love the duo thing. Love it. You got, what do you got? Russell and James Harden. And you got, Kawhi and PG.
Lillard and McCollum.
You got Braun and AD. And then you got, you keep it going. You know what I'm saying? And I love it.
It's going to be fun, man. I'm excited.
I have no idea who's going to win. And
me either. I haven't come to a pick yet. Before we get you out of here, was everybody on your block really wearing Penny jerseys?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Not literally, but
not literally.
yeah.
But like when I heard the song, I was like, man, that took me back to that time. And
Absolutely.
I remember that in middle school and just like,
Yeah.
everybody.
I was in junior high.
You had to have the black with the pinstripes.
Black with the pinstripes.
You had to have that with your black.
I had the US. I had the black away one. Like I said on the record, I had the black away one, and I had the USA one. I wore them once a week, and it felt like how Nas tape run. Like it was like every day.
Yes.
Like listening to a Nas tape every day. It was the same thing. Like like you needed that. Penny was the reason behind the record. I don't really talk about Penny like that on the record.
Nah.
I talk about Penny jerseys and sneakers and all that. Then I talk about how I hung out with Penny at the end of the record.
Yep.
Talk about how I hung out with Penny and went to lunch with him and we chilled for the day. And, I got my autograph. I got his autograph. He got mine. Like, which was surreal. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, he's like, yo, sign that. Let me sign CD. Let me get that. You know
That's
what I mean?
crazy.
You know what I mean? So
Wow.
we swapping off and like, it was crazy. But, the record is about an era. It's about an era. It's about a certain time where everything felt a certain way. And Penny kind of was one of the faces of that era. When you talk about 94, 95, 96, you're talking about the guy who, marketing-wise, we're not talking about on the court because, people will act up. Marketing-wise was the next Jordan. Marketing-wise.
Yes. He had the whole little Penny thing going on.
Nike put more into him. Like, he was the guy they put the most into after Jordan.
That's
Nike
correct.
was like, yo,
that's absolutely correct.
that's the new guy. Like, Jordan's always going to be the guy. He's next as far as the marketing.
And in the hood, everybody.
Absolutely.
That's
Tyra Banks,
like
Chris Rock,
Yep.
Lil Penny. Spike Lee was in a Lil Penny commercial.
Yep.
Like, it was nonstop. You know what I mean? Like, it was a part of why the Orlando thing fell apart. Because Shaq was like, whoa. And they talked about it in the documentary, the 30 for 30. But Shaq was like, whoa, hold on. Because it was the marketing, every kid wanted to be Penny.
Yep.
All the jerseys in Orlando Arena in the stands all had ones. You know what I mean? Like, it all changed. So that's what I'm talking about on the record. Like, I'm just talking about an era and everything that was going on in my hood back then. And it was like, my whole block was in Penny jerseys. You know what I mean?
I love
like,
the song because I could see it. I could just see it in the time and just remember Brooklyn at that time. And we have the same age, so I just remembered that. So
absolutely.
So we love that. I know you're excited about the album and what it's done. What have you heard back from people? How people receive it?
People are losing it, man. They're loving it. I appreciate it all. They blowing my social media's up, blowing up Pete. We've been talking about it for the past couple days. It's been an amazing ride, and we just getting started. It's like the first stop on the train. We're just getting started on this ride. But it's been amazing, man. Shout out to everybody who's been loving the album, listening to the album.
Yep.
Living and dying by it, it seems. You know what I mean? Like being all about it. It's an honor, man, and I appreciate it all. The album's doing incredibly well. It's topping the charts on iTunes and Apple and all the other things, and it's moving, and I love it. It's a fantastic album. I wrote it in all of 12 days. Like the writing and recording was a 12-day process, and
wow.
I write everything on the spot. I write fast, whatever. So, Pete and I was in the studio for every record. There wasn't no emailing back and forth.
That's dope.
We was in the lab together like how we are right now. And it was great, man. Everything worked out. It was a fantastic album. People are going nutty, which is great.
I love it. I love the sound. I love the samples.
Yeah.
I love everything you guys spliced in there, the audio
Thank you.
samples, everything you took from just everything. I
100%.
absolutely really loved
Thank
it,
you.
how it came together and just the overall sound.
Thank you.
New York, as a New Yorker, Brooklynite,
Yeah.
we needed that. We needed a record
That's
like
the
that.
that's the main thing everyone's saying. Like everyone's going nuts, but the common denominator, what's being said the most from the people from New York, is we needed this.
Yeah.
We needed
Because
this.
it has
Yo,
that
we
New
needed
York
this.
sound. It has
Like-
that
It's
classic
like
New York sound.
I loved your last album, Celebration of Us. I loved
Right.
that. And I love the sound, the jazziness you had to that too.
Right.
But I like what you've been doing sonically with your different albums and how you switch it. And
Yeah, everything's gonna be different.
different.
It's
I love
gonna
that.
come from a similar thread. It's gonna come from the same place, like a thread. Like, all right, it's from the same cloth, but it's gonna branch off and do different things. Like, everyone can't be the same. So everything's gonna have a certain theme that's gonna be different. But it's coming from me, so you know what it's gonna be rooted in.
Yeah.
So and Celebration of Us was about, fatherhood and black pride and our culture and, being a black male in this country and what we deal with. And this album, Retropolitan, is about the city. It's about New York. It's about the feeling and the vibe of the city,
And
like
I
straight
love
up
it.
And down. And since we was talking NBA, shout out to all the ball players who've been showing love to me on the album. I got a good amount of NBA friends who've been showing love. Obviously my man Melo's the homie. So
Nice.
shout out to Melo, who was hitting me about the album. BJ Armstrong is a huge fan. He was hitting me about the album. Shout out to BJ. Jamal Crawford is my man. He was hitting me about the album.
Another
Hey,
guy who should be in the league.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, another
still
hour
give-
for that.
he'll still
to talk
give a
about
lot of
that.
people buckets.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come on. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
So
But
some ballers been feeling the album. Good.
Oh yeah. The league is all on it. So shout to all of them. It's even more. You know what I mean. So shout to the league for being all on it. You know what I mean. Shout to everybody for being on it.
Nah, man. Well, we thank you for coming up and rocking with us again. Second album in a row. You came and talked to us about it, and just being able to talk some basketball.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say this: everybody out there, Sky does not hate Frank Ntilikina.
No. I don't hate nobody. I don't hate nobody.
Episode, if you heard, he gave advice to somebody he thought he should work with.
Yeah,
I don't
hate, son. I'm just a realist, man. I'm just a realist that whatever. But Twitter fans, don't kill me for the Frankie thing. Jared, I know you follow my man. Whatever. But we're just keeping it.
Jared, we good.
We keeping it a bean, man. That's it. Keeping it a bean.
We good, man. Bro, we thank you again. Wish you much success.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before we go. One thing we do on every episode.
Oh yeah, we started doing this after because you were episode 20 before. We started this like 35 or 30
so we didn't do it
like
last
that.
time we were here. But we pick.
So we got artwork.
We pick athlete who represents the number. I feel like it's easy which one we should go to for here. We got a list
95.
of people, like athletes who wore 95. We pick an athlete.
Yeah, and we put on the artwork for the episode.
But since you had a lyric, on Eastern Conference All Stars, put 95 on your back like DeAndre Bembry.
Yeah.
I figured maybe we should go with him for the artwork. You know what I mean? 9-5. Episode 9-5.
So what is it gonna be? It's gonna be.
So when we put it on YouTube, we have this, this artwork back here.
Yeah,
and we have
it'll be like a photo of DeAndre Bembry.
Bembry will be in there. We pick a player with a jersey number. Unless you got another 95.
There's other 95s that I dug up, and there ain't that many, but there's a lot of football dudes.
So it has to be that. Yeah. You got to go with Son because there ain't no 95s. You know what I mean? Like,
he's the only one in NBA history to ever wear 95.
Probably.
All the other dudes are NFL players.
The story is legit. I remember reading it that his brother passed. His brother got killed, and he was born in 95.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
His brother was born in 95, and if I'm not mistaken, I think his brother was born in 95 and got killed a few years ago. So he rocks 95 because that's the year his brother was born. You know what I mean? So that's why he rocks 95.
Oh, that bar just got a lot better.
R.I.P.
Well, I was saying it because of the year and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
and the connection you had with the album, the year, and how it felt.
Exactly.
Like that.
So that's the reason why Son wear that.
All right, so we'll go with that. 95 DeAndre Bembry episode. All right, thanks to our guest, our man Skyzoo. His album Retropolitan out now. You can get it on all streaming platforms.
Skyzoo
Purchase
and
it.
Pete Rock.
Skyzoo and Pete Rock. Can't forget the man Pete Rock, the legend out there as well.
Absolutely.
And Sky, you have a show on the 23rd.
Yep, Monday the 23rd. We at Lola. All the
NYC?
information is on my Instagram page and is online. Tickets still available now. Tickets is moving, but there's still room. So I'm at Lola. Come through. We're going to rock and roll. You know what I mean? We're going to get it going. And I'm going to perform the whole album, so it's going to be live.
Which is crazy. He's doing the whole album. I like that.
Yeah.
I love when people do that.
Let's do it.
Yo, thank you again, bro. We appreciate you. That's Skyzoo, episode 95 of the Ain't Hard Tell podcast. Continue to support us, subscribe, everything else that you do, Patreon. For Brian Fonseca, the great Skyzoo, Knick fan, rapper, I'm Dex Henry. So next time, y'all, peace.